everybody.
Welcome
to our weird little program.
Thanks for coming back. Much obliged.
I'm Mandy.
I'm Charlotte.
I'm Tiffany.
And we are a trio of drunken... Well, let me take that back. I was going to say drunken sisters, not sailors. Drunken sisters. I'm going to say we're a duo of drunken sisters, and we have a chaperone with us tonight. Welcome, Sister Tiffany.
After last week, we need supervision.
That's true, we do.
Thanks, sisters Mandy and Charlotte.
I don't know if you listened to our last week's episode, Tiffany, but it was a shit show.
It was, but we released it anyways.
I listened to it. I listened to a little bit, and just till I heard myself, and then I turned it off.
The funny thing about last week's is it was actually 2 hours and 30 minutes long.
Jesus.
And I chopped that bad boy down to 28 minutes runtime total, but that's with a couple commercials in there in your 1.5 star segment.
Oh, that's great.
So
I listened to it. I was on a little bit of a tangent, and I feel like sometimes I'm hard to understand.
Well, you know what? You're just beginning your podcast career, so
Right?
you got all the time in the world to
Perfect your anger.
Mm-hmm. Because we all know it's there.
Sure is.
Oh, it's there.
Just simmering right below the surface.
Not even below the surface sometimes.
So cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
I am
Cheers.
drinking red wine.
Me too. Mandy's off her diet. Whoop, whoop.
Yay.
I'm drinking Q Spectacular ginger beer.
Oh, look at you go.
I love ginger beer. When you said Q, I was like, Charlotte and I have been watching the QAnon bullshit documentary on
just
something
trying to
or
get
other.
closer to mother.
Oh, I watched it.
Oh, you watched it? Oh, good.
Jim
So we can
Watkins
all...
is totally Q, right?
Oh, yeah, duh. Well, the thing is, yeah, he is. I think that maybe somebody started it, but he's definitely taken it over. Like, whoever Q might have been in the originally, that guy's gone now.
Who? How many episodes have you guys watched?
All of them.
There's 4, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because every week there's another one.
What is it on? What platform is it on?
HBO.
Okay.
Hulu.
Just in case any of our listeners want to check it out.
And what's it called? It's like Finding Q or some shit.
Down the Rabbit Hole? Something?
Oh, yeah, Down the Rabbit Hole. I was even close.
I also watched Alan versus Pharaoh.
I also watched.
I watched the first episode and I was like, I cannot handle this.
What a piece of shit.
Piece of shit.
Somebody
He doesn't
saying,
even
well,
get
it's
1.5 stars. 0 stars.
he gets 0 stars. Yeah.
Just in case anybody's wondering, we're talking about Woody Allen being a piece of shit.
Total pedophile piece of shit.
Well, right. And somebody was like, well, that's just their version of things. But, it's not really just their version of things because there's like court documents and stuff. And also, why would Woody Allen be like, hey, if you turn against your mom and your sister, I'll totally pay for your college and you can have a lot of money. No
Also,
innocent man does that, Charlotte.
No innocent man marries his adopted 15-year-old,
Yeah.
daughter that he's currently married to, but groomed. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, for sure.
That dude. Also, I've never watched the movie Manhattan, but I didn't realize it was about a 40-year-old Woody Allen dating a 17-year-old, and that was supposed to just play totally normal. Like, what? This is just normal day thing. This is how people in New York do things. Like, fuck.
It was all her. She wanted it.
It's like, I don't even want to date you anymore, but I can't get rid of her. A douche.
And prosecutors being like, we didn't want to traumatize this girl anymore, so we didn't prosecute.
So I guess that's cool shit that we were watching. Charlotte's got some things she needs to repent for last week.
So apparently I said that Richard Ramirez was Robert Rodriguez. I was drunk. As we all know, Robert Rodriguez is the film director of Sin City, Grindhouse, which was the Planet Terror portion. He did an episode of The Mandalorian, the episode where Boba Fett got reintroduced.
Oh, yeah, that was a good one.
So good. And then, of course, From Dusk Till Dawn, and many others, but those are my favorites.
So, Robert Rodriguez, not Richard Ramirez.
Right.
Richard Ramirez killed and raped children.
Right.
Robert
shit.
Robert Rodriguez makes cool movies.
Yes, okay. There we go. Repent. I repent. Sorry, Robert Rodriguez.
I'm gonna repent for, I don't know if this really counts as repenting, but I'm gonna do it anyway. I feel like we were a little drunk for our MC Chris episode, and I feel like we kind of glossed over what a complete douchebag he was to us several times.
Right. This
At
wasn't just,
multiple
we went to a
shows.
show and he was lame.
He was a dick a lot of times to us, and we legitimately liked his music, and we're there to have a good time.
I bought the man a sweater once that just said "I heart brains" and it had zombies on it because he liked zombies and brains so much, or like nerdy shit.
Yeah.
And so he didn't even thank me for it.
Yeah, dude was a dick. But so we were talking about that with somebody today.
Tiffany.
Oh yes, with Tiffany.
Hey.
Somebody, I can't remember who it was. I feel like they might be genetically similar to us, maybe.
And yeah, that guy.
Yeah, Tiffany, tell us what you found on the internet in your internet hole.
That he has a new song out.
Go on.
He's getting a divorce. He's selling his kids' Boba Fett pajamas on eBay for $5.
That's the one. That's the ticket.
His kids' old used pajamas on eBay for $5. Actually, really just sad.
It's so fucking sad. Like, it's just pathetic. Because one, I think Boba Fett pajamas should go for a lot more than that. Two, it's because it's your kids and somehow people are supposed to care. I don't really get that.
In his defense, he was selling a lot of other stuff, but it already sold. That's just what's left. And that's the opening bid. And somebody did bid, but he had other stuff like mystery lunch boxes full of like C-Lab stuff, or like, you never knew what you were going to get in the lunch bag, and those lunch boxes that also started at $5.
See, that I might have actually like bid on because C-Lab is awesome and he worked on a lot of that shit.
Well, right. And so those ones sold, but right now it's just his kids' sad pajamas that are up there.
Also, speaking of his new song, Tiffany, you texted us the link. I listened to it. I just want to put this out there. It's like a Ripley. It's called Ripley, so it's like an alien themed song. The first 75 minutes of that song are just dialogue from the movie, first of all, with like a beat so slowly creeping in the background.
Oh yeah, it was not good. I know Tiffany had she texted saying, I feel like he only has one beat and he sings along to it all the time and it's the same. And as I'm listening to like the audio and the speaking, I'm like, oh no, I mean, this doesn't really sound like his other music. But to be fair, I kind of stopped listening around 2008, and then the song really started going. I'm like, oh no, there it is. Yes, it is. He does like that. He does like that beat. He's got one. To be fair, he's got 5. He's got 5 beats that he sings to.
So yeah, MC Chris. That was a hot minute of fun songs, and then a whole lot of douchebaggery that's just gotten worse with.
Did you see
time.
that comment on your Facebook?
Megan.
Yeah, Megan. So I posted a picture of me and Laurie with MC Chris that I had come across, and she's like, "Oh, that fucking guy," or whatever. Like, she's like, "I've got some stories about him." I was like, "Do tell."
Mm-hmm.
And she had pretty much said that she was on one of the message boards that kind of helped get him like record deals, kind of a thing, like kind of got him to get out there and put his music out there and kind of got the word out about him.
Yeah, she was an admin on it, right?
Yeah, she was an admin, and she's like I'm at one of my long-term boyfriends or whatever on that site. I still talk to a lot of people on that site, but yeah. And today, MC Chris is a fucking douchebag. He was like, "Yep, sounds about right. You helped get him famous, and I'm sure he turned around and was a cock to you."
Mm-hmm.
Fuck you, MC Chris.
Eat a dick, MC Chris.
Bag of him.
I haven't thought about you for 20 years, but I'm thinking about you right now, and I hate you.
It's true that like completely forgot about him, and then when I brought him, I was like, "Yeah, that guy fucking sucks."
I'm glad you're selling your kids' pajamas for $5.
So fucking sad.
I didn't come up with any Mormon recipes for our Mormon recipe segment.
Tiffany, what you got?
I've got one here. It's called June 13th salad. Directions. Make lemon jelly from any good recipe in your cookbook or from Mrs. Kirk's card index cooking recipes. Wet the mold in cold water and brush very lightly with olive oil. Pour in the lemon jelly and set in the refrigerator to harden. Put the berries into the colander, wash and drain thoroughly. Stem the berries and set in a cold place. Shred a fresh pineapple, drain well, and chill. Whip the cream and mix carefully with the mayonnaise, and then with a silver or wooden fork, unite with the berries and pineapple.
Wait a
the mold
minute.
around.
Slow
Couple
down.
questions. One, how do you stem a berry? Is it
You just take the little green part off. Or the
what? You have to give directions to do that? What the fuck?
I'm listen. My question's more important than Charlotte's. Mayonnaise, first of all.
That's why I
Mayonnaise?
chose this one for you guys. Because
All right.
whip
go
the
on.
cream and mix carefully with the mayonnaise, and then with a silver or wooden fork, unite with the berries and pineapple. Turn the mold of lemon jelly onto a pretty dish, fill the center with the fruit mixture, garnish with the lettuce, and heap strawberries around with spoonfuls of whipped cream or cream mayonnaise. Serve at once. This may be served at the close of a luncheon with very thin bread and butter.
What if I don't have any silver forks? What if I only
It said
have
wooden, silver
plastic.
or wooden.
if I only have plastic?
I think then you can't make this.
You're boned.
I was looking for an Easter. So this is from the People's Home Library, medical cooking veterinary book from 1918.
Medical cooking veterinary book. Are you
Something
just
like
making up
that.
words?
It's really the best. Everyone should get it. It's great.
Are you just like looking up words from a dictionary and picking them at random?
Medical cook veterinarian. Yes, it's great. The other one that's super great. There's one in here that says if you don't have wafers, use popcorn.
Wait. Don't skip ahead. We need to pair that with a beverage,
So
Charlotte.
let's get this. So there's a lemon jelly. There's berries, mayonnaise and whipped cream,
I think
And
so.
you can serve it with toast.
and toast.
You can't say prosecco because it's already been said.
I'm gonna go ahead and say, damn it, joke's ruined. I can't remember the name of it.
I'm gonna say Jägermeister
Ew.
to cover up the taste of all of that shit that you just put in your mouth.
I could see
cold-
Jägermeister.
I was gonna
Cold
say
glass.
Don Perignon.
What's the one that they drink in Greece that's like herby?
Oh,
Ouzo.
Ouzo.
Yeah, ouzo.
Ouzo's gross too.
Yeah, either one, Jägermeister or Ouzo.
All right, go on. I hear
You may
Well, I don't have to read
continue.
you. I mean, I was going to read you this one so you could decide which one to put in the podcast, okay?
Oh, they're all going in.
Yeah.
So this one is called salad sandwiches. And it's tomatoes, American cheese, mayonnaise, chives, salt and paprika, chopped peanuts, bread and butter. But it's like cream the butter in the bowl, cut the bread in round thin slices, butter, have the tomatoes peeled and very cold, slice thin and lift up with the broad spatula on the bread, sprinkle with salt and paprika. Cut the cheese as thin as a wafer and have it round also. Lift this to the tomatoes, spread with mayonnaise, chopped chives, and peanuts. Cover with another round of buttered bread. Press well together.
So it's like a peanut butter sandwich with tomatoes and cheese, but everything's sliced paper thin.
And
And
it's got
paper
peanut
thin, and then you
butter.
just have peanuts on it. It's not like peanut butter, it's just peanuts.
But it's gonna taste like peanut butter is what I'm getting
No, it's
at.
not.
I don't know. I kind of want to try it.
I kind of do too. Those all
don't.
sound delicious.
I think you're all wrong. Tomato is disgusting.
Tomato is, but that's
And,
why it's paper thin, Char.
Oh, it better be fucking paper thin. If I get a tomato seed, I'm out.
I'm gonna pair that with Campari.
Yes, I agree with Mandy.
I don't know what Campari is, but it just sounded like a drink
You
you,
never had
would
Campari?
you would drink with a sandwich.
It's usually like a Campari and soda. Campari is like almost like a bitters.
See, that's perfect for a luncheon sandwich made of
See, I
paper
think
thin
I
slices.
would go with mojito. Yeah, mojito.
I'm gonna say mint julep.
The lime and the mint really complement it. So the tomatoes and the cheese and the wafer thin slices of round bread.
Oh, funny.
So if you guys have anything else, like, do you have eczema? Because this book says soak your body in potato water.
I do have eczema.
If you have any other questions, I can answer them. Gonorrheal rheumatism, which apparently is arthritis.
Are you laughing at your own joke?
No, it's not a joke. It really does say that.
And yes.
Gonorrheal rheumatism?
That's what it says. And then in parentheses, arthritis.
What's it called again? Veterinary luncheon school
It's
cafeteria book?
The People's Home Library, but on the side it says medical, cooking, veterinary.
Huh.
It's
It does
really
sound
great.
like a great book.
Do you want me to read you guys the section on nocturnal emissions?
Let's save it for the next one. Jesus, don't want to
Well, it's not like I have
blow
I
your
don't
wad.
don't want to
I'm
emit
not
your
gonna have this book
nocturnes.
forever. I don't own this book. Maybe I'll buy one.
Okay, take a picture of every page before you go home.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll just buy it because I really do love it. It's a really great book. It tells you about like how you shouldn't ever take a hot bath because they're bad for you, and you should get as cold as you can in the tub for your pores, and then don't
like
ever do it after a hearty meal. But you should. And they also call like the first time you menstruate the crisis. No, it's really great. This is Colleen and Jenny's book, but I love it.
Hey,
Pretty
since
great.
I was gonna segue right into, hey, since we're talking about food, but then we started talking about the crisis, so I don't know if my segue really works anymore.
Oh, wait. Can I read
Okay.
you just one thing, please?
Yes.
This is the last. I promise I will stop after this. Who should not marry? Not all women should marry because all women ought not to be mothers. A woman with poor physical or mental health should not marry, for such a woman, as a rule, will not bear healthy children. No woman with consumption should marry, neither should she marry if she has any specific disease. This applies to men as well as to women. The time will come when the state, for its own protection, will be compelled to make laws governing marriage. Any mental disease on either or both sides should be a sufficient cause for prohibiting marriage, for the offspring of such a marriage are likely to be endowed with a fearful heritage. Women who intend never to bear and rear children have no right to marry, for this means the taking of measures to prevent conception or the getting rid of the product of conception, and the latter is, in plain English, abortion.
Hence why I've never been married.
Finally, I did something right.
Okay, I'll stop now because it's just hit after hit after hit with this book.
Save that book. Take a picture of every page because we're gonna need to know in next week's episode a little bit more about the crisis.
Yes.
Okay.
I'll just buy it. I'm gonna buy it. It's gonna be great.
So let me segue back into food. Listeners, I'm going to share with you a little backstory about our friend Josh. Okay. We have a friend named Josh. I've known Josh since I was, I don't know, a long ass time ago. I think I was probably 19 or so when I met him. And the man is a god when it comes to impressions.
Yeah.
He can do the best. He does a pretty good Trump, but really where he shines is Christopher Walken.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Tiffany, what's the other one he does?
What doesn't he do? He does.
That's actually appropriate.
He does a great Trump.
Great Trump, yeah. We've been trying to get him on the podcast. We're trying to warm him up to the idea
standards
of trying to warm him up to the idea of being on the podcast. So we're just putting it out into the universe.
I had an idea for your sister's podcast. If you were a food, what would you be? My first take on myself is chicken tortilla soup. If you rolled up one whole tortilla and soaked it into a mush. And then the second one was, if you were a piñata, what would the filling be?
Liquor.
Mucus. Nocturnal
I said
emissions.
Tootsie Rolls, but
Antibiotics. What kind of food would I be? My initial thought was soup, but I don't know how to explain that other than I love soup. It's warm. rich, delicious, like me.
What I really want to get at is I want Josh to explain it as Christopher Walken, or
Plus, if we do our 50 Shades of Gross, we need Christopher Walken to be Christopher Grey. Christian Grey.
Yeah.
Which we need Josh to voice.
So, listeners, we're going to give you Josh's home phone number. I need you guys all to text him and tell him that you demand him to be on the podcast, because I'm telling you, it's going to be a ton of fun once we get him to agree.
It's going to be
One
great.
ton of fun.
Hey, do you guys think now's a good time to hear what Tiffany has rated 1.5 stars?
Yes, I think that's a great idea.
How I rated 1.5 stars? I'm not sure.
Hey, welcome back. Here we
Hey.
are, still drinking.
Like we
Sorry
do.
about that, anger.
Still drinking. Hey, how's your neighbor Ron doing, Tiffany? We kind of want an update.
Well, he's still angry. I kind
Still
of
playing
think maybe
Freedom Rock?
he does love Freedom Rock. He has this friend who's living in his van, I'm pretty sure, and it's broken down in his driveway right now. And he has this plastic American flag colored cowboy hat that he likes to wear, and he listens to and we were trying different things, and we were smoking different things, speaking Sweet Home Alabama all summer long on fucking repeat. So that's going on.
Wait, is the cowboy hat? Is the plastic cowboy hat? Does it have a picture of an American flag on it?
No, it's like the left corner is stars and blue, and then the rest of it's red and white stripes.
That sounds like my nightmare.
It's not great.
We'll buy you
it's
one.
Not great.
No, I mean the whole situation.
Oh, yeah.
The neighbor living with a friend, living in the van in the front yard, listening to Freedom Rock with a plastic American flag.
It's Kid Rock, and it's real fucking horrible. It's really fucking horrible.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, but I haven't actually heard him yelling at his son lately, so I think maybe his son is gone.
Back in the big house?
I would hope that he just had enough self-respect to leave, and because it's spring, maybe he doesn't need to live in his dad's shed anymore. Like, he can just go live on the streets again.
I spent more time on the inside than I have on the outside.
I haven't seen her. Did I tell you guys I went to go tell him that? Like, I was like, I'm gonna go tell Ron that his daughter just ripped him off, and Max was like, please don't. I was like, no, dude. I mean, I have it on video. I'm gonna go tell him and be like, hey, your daughter's a piece of shit. You know, she's stealing from you. And when I went over there, they were having a family reunion. And so I didn't say anything, and I've kept that secret.
Probably for the best.
It's probably for the best. You don't want retaliation.
So, listeners, please keep it a secret. Don't tell Ron that his daughter ripped him off. Okay, we need to keep this between the 1,000 of us. Okay.
Right.
If Ron's son hasn't moved out, next time they fight, because sometimes it's like 2 a.m. and it wakes me up, you know, and it's really quiet everywhere else, so I can get a pretty good recording if you guys want me to.
Yeah. Hello.
That sounds lovely.
Done.
So, I was thinking of a story that I have
In honor of it being Jesus's death/birthday.
Happy Zombie Jesus Day. Because like true to fashion, we try to come up with something good to tell you about before we start recording, and then as soon as we hit record, I change my mind.
Great.
So this one, in honor of Zombie Jesus Day, I wanted to tell our listeners what I would like to be a time-honored tradition of playing Easter egg hunt, but instead of Easter eggs, it's booze.
Yay!
There was a time when me, Tiffany, and Laurie were living in a house on F Street, and we got the house because it had this gigantic backyard. It was so awesome. But what we didn't know was that we were responsible for mowing it. So we never did. And
you just thought that like the magic people would come.
I live in California where we have gardeners. Like,
wow.
How the fuck am I supposed to know? And so they're like, you know, you really need to mow the lawn. And we're like, with what? You don't have a lawnmower. And I'm like, I'm not buying a lawnmower for your house. So they finally bought us a lawnmower. But I was like, no, let's not mow it yet. It'll be perfect for hiding these So for those who don't know, Sessions is a type of beer that's like a short beer, almost like a Coors Banquet. We're like, we'll hide these around the house and around the yard, and that we can all, it would be like an Easter egg hunt, but with beer. And so we did. And the rule is that when you found a beer, you had to pound it, but you had to keep the bottle cap. That was very important, so that way we could count how many bottle caps were left over, and if we needed to find any remaining beers.
Smart.
Right. I thought things through. Problem is I don't remember where I hid the beers at all, because I was the only person. There was like 3 of us hiding it, and we were missing one. One beer was missing. And so every time we went to go mow the lawn, it was like, oh my God, I'm going to hit the bottle this time, aren't I? Our friend Kate had made cupcakes with like a red jelly filling for the zombie brains, with little like toothpicks with, sign things that said Happy Zombie Jesus Day or whatever. It just had, it's just Jesus with zombified Jesus. And that was really great. And then, cut to a couple of years later, Max and Tiffany come to visit me and Craig. And I guess Max went to go visit his aunt and uncle. I had to work. Tiffany and Craig had the day off, so they hid mini bottles all over my backyard. And I have to say that was a lot of fun too. So better than an Easter egg hunt is a boozy hunt.
Tiffany, you could like really up your game and be like the cool house on the street and hide full-size wine bottles.
And guess what? I have gardeners, so I wouldn't even have to worry about if the bottles were found or not.
Tiffany has gardeners.
Well, to go back to what we had originally decided to talk about on the day he has risen. Or wait, is this the day he died?
He dies on Easter and no.
Or does he die before and then comes back on Easter?
He dies on Christmas, you guys. Hey, guess what I just bought? The People's Home Library.
What?
I just bought the People's Home Library. I'll have it for next time on the podcast.
Basically, Jesus goes out on a Friday night, gets fucked up, and doesn't come home till Monday.
Yeah, that's about right.
So we thought we would tell you. We have a lot of stories, obviously. It's been a year we've been doing this podcast. We have a lot of stories about bad choices we've made and times that we should almost be dead.
Correct.
But some of them aren't long enough to make a whole podcast about.
And some of them we already did.
So we're going to nugget those into bite-sized, fun-sized, mini-sized chunks in honor of Easter. Mini-sized chunks does not sound... I should reword that.
Yeah, just leave it.
Cut it. Mini-sized, fun-sized segments of times we should be dead. But somehow we're not.
Perfect.
Or are we? And like Jesus, we rose again and don't remember it.
That, or we're in some
purgatory.
Thanks.
I was going with darker timeline, but I like purgatory better.
Where we think we're still alive doing a podcast, but in actuality, we'll never leave this house.
Our bodies are rotting in the cold, dark ground. Oh. I have a fun story about one of the times that I think Tiffany should almost be dead.
Go on.
Back in high school, when I was living in Logan, I happened to be working on a little like logistical supply and distribution scheme. I'm not going to tell you what I was supplying or distributing, but it was illegal. And I made everybody I sold it to, okay, it was acid. I made everybody I sold it to promise that they would not sell it to my little sister, Tiffany, because she wanted it real bad. And she was 13 years old, and I thought that was too young. You got to be at least 15 to take acid. So I told everybody, I was like, I'm only selling this to you if you promise that you're not going to give it to my sister, Tiffany.
You're a good older sister.
Oh, we promise. So one cold winter snowy night, I walk outside of my house, and 3 houses down the block is my little 13-year-old sister, Tiffany, walking barefoot in the snow, looking up at the stars. What were you seeing up there, Tiffany?
I think you're getting it confused with the time I was barefoot in the snow and I went and saw Stargate, the movie, on acid.
That's what it was. At the Utah Theater, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, sorry. I get my stories confused.
Well, why are you not wearing shoes to the movie theater?
Who wears shoes, man? They're overrated.
And I was like, Tiffany, what the fuck? And immediately I could tell
Jesus
that she was
wanted us to wear shoes, we would have been born with them, man. I mean, Charlotte. And Charlotte.
clearly I could tell Tiffany was on acid. Her pupils are the size of dinner plates. And she was like trying to be cool and be like, no, I'm fine. I'm fine. I was like, fuck you. Who gave it to you? And she wouldn't tell me. She wouldn't tell me. And finally we figured it out. Because I think it was the house that she was right in front of. Which used to be, we lived next to Pocock. And then there was that other lady next door. Her house was kind of like recessed back.
Yeah.
I used to do genealogy for her.
Wasn't it Mrs. Peterson?
Yes, Mrs. Peterson. Thank you, Mrs.
She's
Peterson.
dead now. You can say her name.
Yeah, I thought about that, but long dead because she was real old when I was young. But then a bunch of so that was like this nice, cute little old lady house. She would make us cookies and stuff for Christmas, and it was like quintessential old Mormon lady. And then a bunch of our dirtbag friends moved in there, and it was like graffiti all over the walls inside. So it was like a really interesting transition from genealogy house to like party house. But yeah, anyways, needless to say, those were the fuckers that sold my sister LSD. And in
But
the
that's
end,
not true.
yes, it is.
They didn't sell it to me.
You just gave it to her.
No, it was. I never ratted her out, but it was just a friend of. I think it was Chrissy Hodges gave it to me.
Really?
Yeah,
Wait.
she gave me like a half a kit and said I was never allowed to tell anybody, so I never told anybody till right now.
Till you just told our entire listenership.
It was either Chrissy or Sally that did it. I can't remember if I was no longer friends with Chrissy at that point and was friends with Sally. But
I
one
don't
of
think
those
it was
two
Chrissy because I don't think Chrissy was around. Sally sounds right because I think wasn't her brother Nick friends with Kelly?
Yeah.
And that's how they got it then.
Right.
And
yeah, so it was Sally, but I was never allowed to tell anyone.
Okay.
And good on me.
Anyways, I thought you should have been dead from walking around and getting hypothermia, walking around in the snow and bare feet on
Should have
LSD.
at least lost her feet.
Exactly.
Oh, you have to be in like really cold conditions for that, not just snow.
It's Utah. It's the fucking coldest.
That is a fact.
Yeah, but I used to go, oh my God, I used to go out in the backyard when the bathrooms were all full and like, so
Wait,
gross.
did you
Be
say
out there-
bathrooms with an S?
Well, the laundry bathroom.
Oh, I forgot your secret toilet.
There's no walls.
And I would pee out there in the snow barefoot all the time.
No.
You're welcome. everyone.
No.
What other times have we almost died?
Well, one time, Kelly and Laurie and I were playing hide and go seek. And the rules were you can't go into the basement. And so me and Laurie are like, well, then that's where we're going to hide. Duh, right? It's off limits. So we went down and we locked. And I was like, Laurie, let's get in this fridge. And luckily for us, we put the shelves on the side of it and put ourselves in there. And then, after like 3 minutes, we're like, oh, we're not going to get. Well, I was like 6, I think, 6 or 7. And Laurie was 4 or 5.
You killed your
and
sister.
we're like, okay, well, we're not going to get found because we're not supposed to be downstairs. And that's when we realized that it was one of those fridges that you cannot get out from the inside. They lock.
Oh,
and I think we were
shit.
in there like panicking for another good 5 minutes before like Kelly opened the door. And we're like tumbled out and crying and like, oh my God, Kelly, you saved our lives. And he's like, you fucking dumbasses. I could see the shells right next to it. Okay, I'm going to go hide.
There was a whole episode of Punky Brewster about how you're not supposed to lock yourself in a fridge.
Yeah, but Dad only let us watch fucking Andy Griffith. So how was I supposed to watch Punky Brewster?
That's true.
Oh.
Do you guys remember that time? Another time Laurie almost died when she must have been 3 or 4 maybe, but we had that old rocking couch. So basically our living room had this huge picture frame window with
Not
a
as
single
big as you
queen.
remember.
Is that Mission Viejo?
No, this is Logan.
Oh, okay.
The Logan house. A big picture frame window. That's just a single piece of glass. And then there was a couch. I'm pretty sure it was a rock couch that was in front of it. And it's that kind that has that creepy velvety texture with like wagons and shit that's orangish. You know what I'm talking about?
And we were playing horse.
Yes.
Like we were riding horses.
Yeah. So yeah, she's straddled on the back of it. I don't remember. Tiffany, you were playing with her at the time?
Yeah, we were playing horses.
Any more detail you want to throw in there?
All I remember is we were riding the back of the couch playing horses.
Oh, you know what I do remember? we were eating taco salad because I was in the
That sounds
kitchen.
good.
Yeah, and Mom, we used to make a bomb ass taco salad with like kidney
It's
beans
not
from a
bomb ass. It's the
can.
most disgusting.
I
No,
was
it's
just gonna say kidney beans from a can, Kraft zesty Italian.
and Thousand Island.
No,
No,
zesty
not Thousand-
Italian. No,
Is that the
French.
red
Zesty
one?
It-
French.
It was
Yes, that one.
Catalina.
With
Catalina.
tortillas. Yeah, Catalina, that's the one. With tortilla
Chips and
Yeah.
iceberg lettuce.
And
Yes, it's
and
fucking-
olives, black olives.
No,
So
now you've
gross.
lost me. Unless they're Kalmata olives.
Anyways, Mom had a recipe. We all loved it. That could be a weird
I
Mormon
didn't.
recipe for the next time. Is that a Mormon recipe? I don't know.
It is now.
Anyways, we were in the kitchen eating that, I remember. And then all of a sudden there was this like huge shatter of glass. And we go out into the living room and she's got her head all the way through the pane of glass. And there's like these sharp ass shards of glass pointing at her neck, like 4 of them. And she's crying and Tiffany's screaming. And she's got her back on the back of the couch and her head through the plate glass window.
Jesus
Essentially,
Christ.
with all these jagged shards pointing at her jugular.
Well, Laura should be dead twice now.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So, but we couldn't get her, like, we couldn't pull her out because it
She
would
could-
cut her.
Right.
I don't know how the back of her neck wasn't cut. Like, maybe she was just like on a smooth part on the back of her neck.
Maybe.
But then she had to just basically hold still, screaming while we waited for the fire department to come. And somehow I don't remember the exact details of how the fire department got her out, but they got her out.
Couldn't Mom just breaks? No, I guess the whole thing could shatter.
Yep.
Fuck that.
Right. Haven't you seen Final Destination?
Decapitate her toddler.
You put a piece of metal around her jugular.
Poor Laurie. She hardly stood a chance.
I'm surprised she's still alive.
I also have one about Laurie and Charlotte were too little, but when we lived in Preston, so this was before Mom took us to Vegas. So I was in the 4th grade, Casey was in the 3rd grade, and we were responsible for taking care of Tiffany, you, and Kelly, and making dinner for us and stuff until Mom got home from work. And I think Charlotte and Laurie must have been with her friend Jamie. But so Casey and I had to make dinner all the time, and I only knew how to make hamburgers and peas and mashed potatoes. I remember Casey and I would I can't remember exactly why. Oh, we decided to like mash them all up in the KitchenAid, which ended up looking like vomit because we were trying to get creative because we were so bored of eating the same thing all the time. So we're like, let's mix it up. And we were like, oh, hell no, that didn't work. So we turned on the oven because I guess we were going to try to bake it or something. I don't know. But the oven kept going. It seemed like it was automatically going up to 500 degrees and it kept going up, and we'd turn it back down and it kept going up, and it was getting really hot. And I went to go look at the back of the oven to try to figure out, I don't know.
And it wasn't even plugged in.
Listen, I'm in the 4th grade. I don't know shit about anything, but I did go back to look at the back of it for some reason, and we had these wicker baskets sitting. So this oven, but it had a large, almost like a bed frame thing. I'm talking about, and it's got the clock in it, and it's got like the time and stuff. But it's
like a headboard for the oven.
It's like a high headboard, yeah. But it doesn't do anything up there. But it's really tall.
It's for storage. Put your spices on it.
Well, so we had stored wicker baskets on the top of it, empty wicker baskets. So when I went to poke my head around to the back of that oven and look up towards the ceiling, I saw the backs of the wicker baskets hanging over the edge, and I thought they were beehives. So the oven's turning up to 500. I thought the house was full of bees. And so me and Casey take Tiffany and Kelly. We run outside. Casey runs to the neighbors and try to get... How old are you in the 4th grade? Like 9 or something?
Barely. I think you're like 7.
It's too young to be caring for 3 human beings.
Right.
But I'm going to go ahead and add that to the times we should almost be dead.
I can't believe the neighbors didn't call CPS.
I think they did.
I know at that house was when we had to decide which parent to live with. And I chose Dad because I'd gotten in trouble that day, and Mom was being really mean and unfair to me because I was playing with battery acid.
you're like, I'm going to live with Dad.
Exactly. And I mean, it was the right decision too, but that was why, because I was in trouble for playing with battery acid.
Where did you find battery acid?
Who knows? It's Preston.
You know what else I remember about Preston? We had this neighbor who had this really old car in his yard, and it wasn't even a yard, it was like a field. It was really super overgrown, but I mean, it was like a really old car from like the 40s or the 30s, but it was like rusted out. There was no tires left on it. The windows were broken. Like, it was not like, it wasn't a restoration project or anything like that. It was just like an old piece of shit car. It was like overgrown with weeds. And we had a gun for some reason. I want to say it was a pellet gun, but I'm not sure. It could have been like a little 22 rifle. I'm not sure. But Casey had it out there, and he was like shooting that car and ended up breaking one of the windows out of it or whatever. And the guy, we actually had to go to court for that. The guy came out chased Casey back into the house, you piece of shit little kid, fucking with my whatever, blah blah blah. And so we ran in the house, so it would have been the four of us, me, Casey, Kelly, and Tiffany, barricaded the door. And like, I remember sitting against the door, and the guy's banging, "Where's your mom?" And we're like crying.
I don't know.
We don't have any parents. But we ended up having to go to court for that. And I remember Mom telling me exactly what to say. And don't you dare say anything different. No matter if they ask you this, you say this, and you say this, and you say this, or whatever. And I was just like, and I had to go sit in the jury, or not the jury box, the little witness box or whatever, and answer questions for a judge. I don't remember specifically what the things that I was supposed to say were, but I do remember being terrified about that and seeing the mean guy in the courtroom and him looking at me. But I don't know if that counts as We Should Almost Be Dead, but it's a Preston. Yeah, it's a Preston story.
I was gonna say the neighbor would have murdered you. Had a fucking psychopath.
Some 6-year-old kid with a gun is shooting at my house.
It was his car.
Well, whatever.
It's not running beater car.
But I mean, I get it, Charlotte. Could you imagine if like there was little shit bags next to you that kept fucking your shit up?
That's true, because it's not like you just fucked with one of his things. I'm sure it was a constant.
Tiffany, I swear you have more stories about how people should be almost dead, namely you.
I was trying to think.
Oh, what about that time you took off when we were on Maui? You took off to the beach and ran like 7 miles back to the condo on the beach on an island you'd never been on before.
I wasn't on the beach, Mandy. I was drunk and I was leaving the bar, and when I want to go home when I'm drunk, I want to go home when I'm drunk. And so I leave, and that's part of the reason I don't drink any longer, because I'm a terrible drunk. But I didn't run on the beach. I think maybe the beach was in it. I also ran along a very busy highway back to the timeshare condo.
Yeah, there's really only that one road. we were actually
okay.
We were actually a bunch of us down on the beach, like yelling and looking for you, because we were like, oh man, she's gonna fucking drown.
Right.
She's the worst.
This bitch.
But that's neither here nor there. One time, me and Laurie and a bunch of people up here were high, and we were singing, because my one friend really needs me to sing all the time. So we were singing field next to this woods, and we were like, what's that? Like, we're like, what's going on? And I didn't see it, but everyone else saw a being made of light. So I was almost abducted once, totally by aliens.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Back up. I need more context. Which friend?
That's all. Sing? Sandy.
Oh, yeah, she does like Tiffany to
sing.
She
really does. She always needs me to sing to her.
And where were you?
We were out on Mount Baker Highway at Toad's house. In the early 2000s. Okay. And so there's like those wooded hills, but we were in a field a couple houses away, a couple yards away from the house.
And there was a beam of light on you?
A beam of light, or being made of light?
Being of light.
Oh, okay.
Beam of light would be totally more bitchin'. It was a being of light coming towards us.
And it wasn't because you were high.
I mean, we were all high. Like I said, I did not see it, but everyone else like looked in the same direction, screamed, and ran back towards the house,
I
and were
believe
saying,
I
"There's a
believe in
fucking
that shit.
being of light."
That I believe in that.
They were
That
just
happens.
trying to say hi and give you a hug.
Have the same experience while they're high. There's something to that.
Mass
Yeah, and maybe
hysteria.
it was just a dude with a flashlight, but it could have been an alien.
I was about to talk about delving into some layer of consciousness that's barely under the surface, but it also could have been a dude with a flashlight.
We'll never know.
That's not a good
Okay,
story.
wait, I got a good
No.
one. One time,
Okay.
Charlotte and I were driving down to California, and
Oh.
her tires were bald, and I went to go fill them up because I mean, what do I know about fucking cars or tires? I knew they were bald, but I was like, let's fill these up really, really full. And so we're driving along and on a freeway, and one of them burst, and it like totally cut power to her car as well. We got it to the side of the road and called, like it was the last day of her AAA or something, which was totally tight. And they
Totally
drove us
tight.
to. Sorry, I gotta stop.
I said it was
to a
totally tight.
dealership. It was totally tight, bro.
Sick reference
To a dealership, and they're like, "Oh man, we're on a 2-week, 1 month long road trip, something like that." And they're like,
So we only had like a 4-day thing on our for our trip. We had to get there and get back. It's one of those things.
yeah,
where,
something like that. But
Yeah.
so they're like, it's going to be a three days to get the parts, and it's going to be like $2,000-$3,000.
it was $1,200, and they were going to keep my car for 3 days to get the part. It was going to be 3 days.
$50,000. It was going to take 2 weeks to get the part.
Sorry.
And Cheryl's like, screw that. I'm just going to buy a new car. She's talking to this guy, and she's like, oh, hey, this is my sister. And he shakes my hand, and he has just like a dead fish handshake, like the worst, like really limp handshake. And I was just like, fuck that dude, right? I was like, I'm gonna go fix your fucking car, Charlotte. Fucking give me.
And so Tiffany's like, I'm gonna stay behind and I'm gonna look at the car. And they're like, you can't be back here. And Tiffany was like, oh, I have to get something out of the trunk. And they're like, okay, I guess you can go back. That's the last I knew.
Yeah, so I went in there and I'm like, okay, I have her keys, right? And I start it, there's no power, whatever. And I'm like, well, a popped tire isn't going to ruin the electrical system. There's no reason that this car should need new parts. And so I look at the wires and I find the wires, and I the wires have been pulled out because they're in the well, and so they had been ripped out of something. Right.
So
so I was plugging them into different things, and I would see, oh, now the air conditioning is working, and now this is working. So I knew it was something that I could fix somehow, even though I've never worked on a car. And I had to like pry back the fuse box, and behind there was this tiny little power box, like this white little power box, and I plugged it in, and it was like da 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 da, and everything fucking worked. And it took me like an hour and a half or something like that to figure out, what was going on and find all the pieces and everything. And so I go in there, and it's in Redding, California, so it's like 110 degrees, and I'm pretty sure I got heat exhaustion and almost died. But I went in to the car dealership, and Charlotte's like signing paperwork for a new car, and the guy's like, oh, hey, what's up? And I was like, I just fixed your car. And his face dropped. He was so upset. It was good. And Charlotte's like, my sister, who knows nothing about cars, just fixed my fucking car. And we just laughed. It was great.
I had to pay $85 for a diagnostic fee, which I paid.
Should have paid that diagnostic fee to Tiffany.
Yeah.
Well, no, I had to pay the dealership to get my car. But we're like, we're just going to drive. Like, you can't just drive out of here. It's like, yes, we can. I was like, do you have something to like get these wires? They're like, we can't help you. I was like, good thing I've got electrical tape in my glove box, taped up the wires, drove around the corner to a tire shop where I bought 4 new tires. They zip tied the wires up for me. We had no radio on the way back because that was one thing we couldn't get. And like,
oh, nice job, Tiffany.
Sorry.
No radio. So then we got down there, and then while we were here visiting, I dropped my car off at a mechanic in town who fixed it for $400 rather than $1,200. The air conditioning never really worked after that.
And I'm pretty sure that was the start of my delusion that I can fix anything. Like, I was like, I can fix a car. I can fix anything.
But the point of the story is that Tiffany was fucked up after that. Like, she was like, I feel like I'm going to throw up. I think I'm going to pass out. She had total heat exhaustion.
Oh, heat stroke.
Heat stroke, yeah.
I had
And it was just like, oh,
hot to
fuck.
the touch. My skin was hot to the touch and red.
Mhm.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
But I fixed that fucking car.
Yes, you did. And we didn't have any air conditioning to cool her down with. Like,
But I think we got a hotel room,
Wow.
and then we got a lot of air conditioner and a cool tub or something. I don't remember how I lived, unless I'm dead.
Wouldn't it be funny? I know we've already glossed over this, but I want to say it again. Wouldn't it be funny if we were all dead from one of these fucking multitude of reasons we should be dead? And this is all just a dream. This whole podcast doesn't exist.
I think about
Screenplay.
that sometimes. I think about sometimes, what if I don't have any sisters either, or a job, and I'm just like sitting on a corner and be like, my sisters said I was on their podcast. And people are like, good, Tiffany, here's a sandwich. It's got peanuts in it.
Oh my god. I think you're right. I think we should write a movie. I think
Right?
that's the logical next step.
No, so Tim, I was in a big like Wes Anderson kick watching a bunch of his movies, and I was like, it cannot be that hard to write a screenplay. Like, I was feeling very inspired, and I also think that we're fucking hilarious and geniuses. So I was like, we just like the Joel and Ethan Coen brothers. So the Coen brothers can do it. 4 of us sisters can do it.
The Murder of Anderson's Films
Right.
presents.
Yes. But Tiffany had told me an idea for her screenplay, which essentially was like a cross between Fight Club and something else. And yeah, and schizophrenic. But by the end of the movie, you realize she has no sisters, and they're all in her head. And I was like, yes.
I like it. Here's a sandwich, Tiffany.
Got your favorite.
I got your favorite. It's thinly sliced tomatoes, very thinly sliced cheese on a round bread with peanuts.
With peanuts and whipped cream.
Hey, let's wrap this up.
Okay.
I'm not sure how long we've been going because we're not using our usual high-tech method. We're just sitting on a bed, talking into a phone, getting wasted.
Drinking wine.
But thanks for listening to our podcast. If
Yeah.
you're enjoying it, how about you head on over to Apple Podcasts and leave us a rating and a review?
Go over to YouTube, subscribe, like, tell your friends.
Check out our website. We have a ton of merch.
Church merch.
Church merch. And we're on all the social media channels. You know what we never did? Shout out to our motherfucking patrons.
Oh yeah, what patrons?
The whole reason we're even doing this podcast is for y'all.
Yeah.
So thanks for being awesome.
Thanks.
And we'll see you next week.
Laters.
We'll try to be more sober. Just kidding.
Tiffany, was it okay?
Yeah. Is that going to be the end? I think that should be your end every time. Tiffany was okay.
Yeah. It would be like the
Sit.
kind of, but also
Yeah.
the Rick and Morty one. It's like, did you catch that?
Mhm.
Tiffany was okay. And I'll say, totally tight.
Hey, wait, hold on. Let's do it.
Tiffany, was that okay?
Totally tight.